I should never be telling this. In 1995, while the world watched the launch of Windows 95 and listened to the radio, I was at an unlisted launch pad in Nevada. Officially, NASA had ended manned missions to the moon in '72. Unofficially, ion propulsion technology was already being tested to take us back in secret. There were three of us: myself, a systems engineer, Commander Vance, and Dr. Aris, a geologist whose credentials had been scrubbed from all academic records. Landing on the dark side, our destination wasn't the illuminated plains, but the bottom of the Shackleton crater at the lunar South Pole. It is a place of eternal darkness, where temperatures drop to minus $240. See, the official justification was to search for ice. But when our floodlights illuminated the bottom of the abyss, we didn't see ice. We saw geometry. The structure in the center of the crater stood a structure that defied the laws of thermodynamics. It was an obelisk made of a black, glassy material, roughly 12 meters high, emitting a constant pulse at a frequency of $1.42. $GH, the famous hydrogen line used in searches for extraterrestrial intelligence. But what changed everything wasn't the obelisk itself. It was what lay around it. Footprints. There were trails of footprints perfectly preserved in the lunar regolith. They weren't from space boots. They were bare feet, with 6 toes, proportional to a human nearly 3 meters tall. The panel. At the base of the obelisk, Dr. Aris found a star map engraved into the material. It didn't show where the visitors were from. It showed Earth. But the Earth we know wasn't blue. On the map, our planet was shrouded in a network of artificial rings. When Vance tried to collect a sample from the black surface, the sound didn't come through the radio, but directly inside our minds. They weren't words. They were images. The moon cracking open like an eggshell, and something vast, biological, and ancient, emerging from within. The moon was not a natural satellite. It was a cocoon. The return and the silence. We were extracted in a hurry. Vance developed acute psychosis 3 days later and disappeared from the base hospital. Aris and I were forced to sign documents under the Espionage Act of 1917. They told us that humanity wasn't ready to know that our nightly protector is in fact a biological countdown timer. Since 1995, seismic activity on the moon has increased by $12%. They know the hatching is near. NASA didn't stop going to the moon because of a lack of money. They stopped because they don't want to wake up what's inside before it's time. The silencing protocol. After our return in October 1995, Operation Selene was buried under 7 layers of government secrecy. I tried to live a normal life, but how do you forget the fact that the satellite above your head has a heartbeat? The clandestine encounter? 3 months ago, I received an encrypted file in my old work email. It was from Dr. Aris. She was hiding in a small village in the Swiss Alps, living under a false name. The file contained the pages she managed to smuggle from her geological field diary, pages the military thought they had incinerated. What she discovered in the spectrometric analysis of the Shackleton crater was worse than footprints and obelisks. Aris's discovery. In her notes, Aris described that the black material of the obelisk was not mineral. It was carbon-infused, fossilized biological tissue. She wrote, "The obelisk is not a monument. It is a nerve receptor. It is connected directly to the core of the moon. Every time the Earth emits high-frequency radio signals, the obelisk vibrates. We are, literally, feeding the thing with our technology." She also documented something she hadn't told me in the command module. She saw what was beneath the 6-toed footprints. The lunar soil there was transparent like ice in certain crevices. Under the surface, hundreds of meters deep, she saw veins. Enormous ducts pulsing with a luminescent substance that ran through the entire interior of the crater. The 2026 signal. The reason Aris contacted me now is what terrifies me most. According to her calculations, the structure on the moon has a saturation limit. Since 1995, with the explosion of wireless internet, Starlink satellites, and 5G signals, the bombardment of electromagnetic waves on the moon has increased exponentially. On the last page of the diary there was a date circled in red, January 18th. She believes that on this date, the resonance frequency will reach critical mass. The hatching we saw in those mental visions back in '95 is not an event for the distant future. It is happening now. The disappearance of Dr. Aris. I tried to reply to her email yesterday. The address no longer exists. This morning, I saw a black car parked in front of my house. They know that I know. I looked at the moon just a moment ago through my backyard telescope. The Shackleton crater, which should be in total darkness, displayed a pale blue dot of light, visible even to an amateur. The moon isn't just glowing. It is cracking. The missing link. The Tassili key. In 2023, A mineral prospecting team in southern Algeria detected a magnetic anomaly so powerful it disintegrated the circuits of their mapping drones, buried 15 meters beneath the sands of the Sahara. Within a geological layer dating back 4.5 million years, they found what the newspapers dubbed the Tassili object. It was neither a fossil nor a meteorite. It was a perfect cylinder, 1 meter long, forged from the same black glassy material found on the Moon and Mars. Its surface was covered in microgrooves that resembled integrated circuits. But, at an atomic scale, the Mars-Earth connection. Before her disappearance, Dr. Aris had left a coded note. What is on Mars is the lock. What is in the Sahara is the ignition. Elite scientists at a subterranean base in Alaska attempted to activate the cylinder by subjecting it to a specific frequency of $1.42 GHz, the same pulse emitted by the lunar obelisks. The object projected a hologram into the center of the room. It wasn't a map. It was a countdown translated into universal mathematical symbols. The door opens. The moment the cylinder was activated on Earth, NASA sensors on Mars detected a catastrophic change. The largest of the pyramids in the Cydonia region began emitting a beam of thermal light, directed exactly at the coordinates of the object in the Sahara. The message became clear. The object buried in the Sahara is a relocation key. It wasn't forgotten here by accident. It was left by the originals as a trigger, so that once humanity reached a certain technological threshold, we could call Mars back core, open a portal between the two planets. Global panic. The countdown on the Sahara object ends on January 18, 2026, the exact same date as the lunar hatching. Now, world governments are in a state of panic. They do not know if the key will save humanity from the moon's hatching or if it will complete the extinction process, bringing the ancient masters of Mars to reclaim what is left of the Earth.